Child, so before the dinner or whatever, the girls are still explaining why they feel like they want the chain. Coco is still on about how she deserves the chain, why she deserves the chain. Girl, I don't care what her sob story is. I don't care how many explanations she gave throughout this episode because it was a lot. I don't care. I don't feel like Coco deserves a chain. You don't deserve a chain, ho. Be quiet. Nothing that you have done throughout the season have displayed anything that a baddie does. You're an instigator. You're a liar. You break up friendships. You don't even get in the paint for real, if we're being serious. And for her to keep saying, oh, yeah, well, I got in the paint. Talking to Daisy. Oh, I got in the paint with you 3 times. I got in the paint with you 3 times. Girl, we don't give a damn. Okay, we don't care. You had to get in the paint with Daisy because at the beginning, mind you, you came onto the season being a follower, being weird. You didn't know Bahadi from a can of paint. She was into it with TT and you jumped her with Cupcake. You started off wrong. And Daisy made you run that. Daisy made you run that. So it is what it is. You and Daisy fought all of 3 times and she popped. Girl, don't even make me say it. She did what she did to your eye. Baby, your eye is still red. I've been red the whole season, girl. Ain't get your lip back not one time. Baby, you woke up one day and decided that you didn't want to fight Daisy anymore. Even though you had to wake up and look in the mirror every single day and look at your eye. But you still didn't want to get your lip back in the house. But want to get online and tell the fans that you're going to get your lick back from Daisy at the reunion about your eye. But ho, you should have been got that. You're not a baddie. You're an instigator. You didn't even get in the paint like that. You didn't get in the field like that. You did not stand on business like that, ho. You fought 2 people. You fought Daisy and then copped the plea with Daisy and wanted to make up with Daisy and be her friend. Been kissing her ass the rest of the season like everybody else. And then you fought Jaden. Whoop-de-doo. You lined it up with Jaden. Oh, not 2 people, 3 people, my bad. You whoop-de-doo. You whooped Jaden. So what? And then Bahadi. So what? You're a bird brain. You're a bird brain and you let the girls get in your head too easily. You're not a baddie. You don't stand on your own 2 feet. Girl, please. I'm not trying to hear that. No shade. I'm really not trying to hear that. Girl, the girls are still hating on Bahadi when Bahadi was picking her team. They had the little soccer team. It was whatever. They had the little soccer scene. It was cute. It was whatever. Bahadi picks Hurricane M, and Hurricane M was all up on Bahadi, but she be popping it so much about Bahadi in the confessionals. I don't understand that. I really don't, baby. But the soccer scene, it was cute. Okay. After that, the girls go home and they get ready for dinner. Bahadi and Daisy talk about who they're gonna get the chain to. At first, Daisy says, Jaden, me personally, I love Bahadi and I love Jaden down, but I do not think that Jaden should get a chain at all. I don't even know why Bahadi even said this, baby. No shade. Like I said, girl, y'all know I love Jaden, baby. I'm a ride for Jaden. No shade. I am. I love her down. But I don't think that Jaden deserves a chain. I feel like it was too many instances where Jaden let those girls play in her face. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that Jaden should get a chain. I said what I said. I still like her though, but I'm not delusional. But I feel like this is definitely a sympathy vote and it makes no sense to me. I agree with Daisy when she said that, she don't feel like Jaden deserves a chain. So they talk about Coco, they talk about Hurricane M, and they talk about TT. Bahadi don't feel like TT deserves a chain. She feel like TT been jumping people, TT been sneaking people, and then Daisy is like, oh well, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen TT jump nobody. I've never seen TT sneak nobody. Girl, you're not paying attention. That's not nobody's fault. TT do be jumping. TT does sneak. TT is a bully. She's a crybaby. And you telling me that after that scene that she made on the last episode, you still feel like she deserves a chain over everybody else in the house? Girl, you're delusional. And I feel like the only reason why you're saying that is because y'all was just bumping cats on the bed. Ho, that's what I feel. That's your bumping kitty buddy. So that's why I feel like you want that. But I feel like TT does not deserve a chain. I don't care. And I don't like how I don't like how Daisy was trying to paint Bahadi as this hater. How is she a hater? You telling me that Bahadi hating on TT, but they're not hating on Bahadi? You're telling me I just don't think that TT deserves a chain. TT is picky, choosy. TT strategically picked her battles throughout the season and didn't run it with nobody who she felt like could whoop her or could give her a run for her money. She only fought girls and picked on girls that she felt like she could whoop on. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But you're not talking about that though. You feel like she deserves a chain, but you whooped her all up and down her room, put her on the floor and tried to punk her for her bed. And then she turned around and wanted to fight Bahadi for it. She's a punk. That's just what it is. And she can fight. Nobody's not saying that TT cannot fight. And nobody's not saying that when TT did have beef with people, she didn't stand on business. But she stood on business with bitches that she felt like she could whoop on. That's it. That's all. She's a bully. She was taking beds. And like I said, we already gave one villain a chain. No shade. Like I said, I feel like the villains definitely, they make the show. They make the show. No shade. They give us something to talk about. It's whatever. But baby, we already gave one villain a damn chain. We don't need two of them. I don't feel like TT should get the chain. I said what I said. Don't give that crybaby asshole no chain. It is what it is. And like I said, I don't like how Daisy was trying to paint this picture and paint this narrative like Bahadi was just this hating asshole who didn't want to see TT win. No, TT don't want to see herself win because TT been acting an ass this whole time. And then my thing is that if you're going to be a villain, do it right. Don't be a villain that's picky, choosy. Don't be a villain that picks and chooses her battles. See, at least Daisy was a villain for sure. You know what I'm saying? She ended up turning into a villain. A little bit of a bully. You know what I'm saying? But at least Daisy ran it with all of y'all. Daisy did not pick and choose. Daisy ran it with all of you guys. Damn near fought all of you guys. And ran y'all. Ran y'all hoes. Literally ran the house. Was the leader of the house. That's, at least do it like that. You know what I'm saying? But how you a bully but you pick and choose? And I said it once and I'll say it again. How are you a bully? But when Daisy came into your room and tried to bully you over your bed that you've been had for days, you turned around and whooped Bahadi about it. That doesn't make any sense. Baby, you was a one and done. Daisy, it took one time for Daisy to whoop you for you to know that you didn't want no more smoke. But you was picking on everybody else. Ho, you cannot play tough if you're picky choosy. That's all I be trying to say. You cannot play tough and you cannot poke your chest out like you're just that. And you just the toughest hoe on the block, but you're picky choosy though. You pick and choose. Baby, you can't pick and choose. Especially if you're gonna be a villain and you think that it just don't make no sense. So anyways, girl, I said what I said. I don't feel like TT deserves a chain. I feel like that's bogus. I don't even think that Hurricane M deserves a chain. I don't. Ho, you fought two people. You fought Jaden and kept picking on Jaden because you had no other storyline outside of Jaden. Let's really keep it a buck. Jaden was your storyline the entire season, and that got old real fast, got dry real fast, got stale real fast. It was the same old fight. And me personally, I don't even think that Hurricane M can fight like that. Me personally, you couldn't even whoop Shay. You didn't whoop Shay. You fought and got into it with two people. And I don't even think you really, the only one that you really won like that and really was tearing through shit was with Jaden. And it's Jaden. So I don't feel like it counts. I don't understand how these girls who are like self-proclaimed like just so tough and hard but y'all beating on the weakest girls in the house. Y'all running phase with the weakest ones in the house. If you're really a big dog, step to the biggest bitch in the house. Y'all was not bold enough to do that. Y'all weren't. I don't even think Hurricane M should have been in that lineup. She shouldn't have. But whatever, girl. Let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. So, the dinner scene, they had the little dinner or whatever. Like I said, so before the dinner, Daisy and Bahadi, they talk. And then, you know what I'm saying, they were kind of just talking. Nobody was really choosing anything, but I mean, girl, so they end up going to dinner and the girls look cute. The dinner was cute too. You know what I'm saying? Little leaves on the table, whatever. The girls were pressed about Oxy, Jaden, and Shay eating in their room. First of all, again, it just doesn't make any sense to me because it's just like, y'all don't like them. Y'all have shown them that y'all don't like them. Why are they about to fake kick it with y'all? Y'all hoes are fake. Y'all be in each other's faces one day and then y'all whoop each other the next. They're not on that fake stuff. If they don't want to be around y'all, then I don't feel like there's really an issue. It shouldn't be an issue at all. If they're eating in their room, so what? They don't want to hang out with y'all. Y'all not their cup of tea and they're not yours. So why are you trying to act like you care that they're eating alone in their room? Girl, please. Like, it just don't make no sense to me. Like, TT's like, oh, well, let's address how Oxy, Shay, and Jaden were in the room eating by themselves. So what? They don't want to hang out with y'all. I wouldn't want to hang out with y'all either. Y'all are weird. Anyways, girl, so M is still angry. Hurricane M, girl, still angry, still pressed, and still obsessed with Jaden. And Jaden is literally doing nothing. Like you literally can't even make this up. Jaden is not doing anything to Hurricane M. She's not talking to her. She's not even looking in her direction. She's not talking to her. She's not disrespecting her. She's not doing anything to this angry ass hoe. Why are you so mad? Why are you so mad? Like, you have literally made this girl's life a living hell since the first day, really. Since the first day y'all came into the house, you have been on this, your foot has been on her neck the entire time. Why do you keep addressing her? Why do you keep talking to her? Why do you keep trying to argue? You're a punk. Like, you're a punk. You're only doing that because you know you can whoop her. That's it. That's all. Like, it's nothing more, nothing less. Leave that girl alone. That girl didn't even say 2 words to you. You're weird. You're weird. Hurricane M is weird. I'm starting to think that you like her or something. You want to bump purses or something. You're obsessed. Like, this is obsession. Like, the way y'all say that Lex back on Baddies Africa, like, y'all be like, oh yeah, like Lex is so obsessed with Scotty. This is obsessed. Like, Hurricane M has been on Jaden since the beginning, and she will not let up no matter how many times Jaden tells her, like, I don't want to fight you. But she knows that she has no other storyline outside of Jaden. This hoe has no personality or nothing to say outside of Jaden, so she knows that Jaden equates to her having some type of shine and relevance on the show, because baby, outside of Jaden, we don't even know you for real. Baby, what would you have done if Jaden was not on the season? Ho, you would have been tired. You're still tired without Jaden, but with Jaden on the show. I can imagine what you would have been like without Jaden on the show, or if Jaden would have ended up going home like mid-season or something. Y'all are weird. I'm tired of her mouth. Like, she got a big ass mouth and then a big ass teeth to go in the big ass mouth, just chomping and chomping and chomping, and the entire episode. Girl, we don't want to hear that. Shut up. I don't even think Hurricane M can I just feel like a lot of these girls' mouths like just don't match their bite. Like, that bark don't match that bite. Like, I'm not saying that Hurricane M is like the worst fighter on the show, because it's not true. But I don't even think, I feel like the way that she pumped her chest out, you would think that this hoe was like, no. But you like I said, ho, you couldn't even run through Shay the way that you thought you could. Baby, she gave you a run for your money, ho. Yeah, put you right up against that camera. Girl, like, what are we talking about? Like, you cannot fight like that. All you do is run your mouth. That's all you do. And you're a hater too. Ew. Okay, so Coco says her piece, and Bahadi kind of changes her mind, because y'all know the first meeting that Bahadi and Daisy had, you know, Bahadi felt like Coco did not deserve the chain. She felt like Coco wasn't wild enough. Coco really ain't been in nothing, and she hasn't. But, you know, Coco gives her explanation, and she basically, to sum it all up, Coco was basically like, yeah, like, nobody ever had to tell me to get in the field. I was always in the paint whenever I needed to get in the paint. Girl, so Bahadi buys it. She buys her explanation, and now she wants to give Coco the chain. And she's writing for Coco too. Like, she feels like Coco deserves the chain. But Daisy, on the other hand, feels like TT deserves the chain, which I'm still baffled by. I cannot believe that these were the 2 runner-ups for the 3rd chain. Because like I said before, when I first started the video, I don't give a damn what Coco's explanation was. I don't care what her sob story was. I don't feel like Coco did enough for that chain. And I don't feel like she deserves the chain. I said what I said. What are you getting a chain for? I'm confused. It's a joke. Like, what is Coco getting a chain for? For getting a... Never mind. What is she getting a chain for? For walking around with one eye for the whole season? Is she getting a chain for jumping Bahadi at the beginning of the season, even though she had no idea when she jumped Bahadi? Bahadi was fighting TT one-on-one. She had no idea who TT was, nor did she have any idea who Bahadi was or why they were even fighting. But she jumped Bahadi for no reason on the very first day. Is she getting a chain for that? Is she getting a chain? Is she getting a chain? Can we talk about it? Is she getting a chain for ducking Daisy and for not getting her lit back on Daisy when Daisy had her walking around the whole entire season with one eye? One eye? When is she getting a chain? I'm so confused. Is she getting a chain for lying and breaking up friendships? What is Coco getting a chain for? Bahadi has more sympathy than me. This is somebody who literally, and this is my thing with Bahadi too, because Bahadi be blowing me sometimes. Just like she did when Daisy did what she did to her, and then she befriended Daisy the very next day. And now look, y'all are fighting again. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, that's what blows me about Bahadi sometimes. Bahadi has too much grace for girls who literally treated her like Dookie the entire season. Coco jumped you and she didn't know you from a can of paint. Literally jumped you and jumped on the bandwagon, the hate train, whatever you want to call it, when she didn't even know you, didn't even give you a chance to get to know you. And when you were like kind of chopping it up with her and talking to her and stuff like that, she went back to Daisy and lied on you, which ultimately caused you to get your braid snatched. I don't understand why she would even have this much grace for Coco. But even if she wasn't a hater and she put her biases aside, what did Coco do to deserve the chain? I'm confused. I cannot believe that out of all those girls, the two runner-ups were TT and Coco. But I will agree though, if it was going to be between TT and Coco, I feel like TT should have got that. If that's the, I mean, baby, pick your poison. I mean, shit. If those are the choices, I would have said TT, not Coco. Ew. No. Please. So again, Daisy and, Bahadi, they have their second meeting, and baby, they cannot agree on who deserves the chain. Well, they have their opinions on who they feel like deserves the chain, but obviously they're supposed to come together and, come up with a decision together on who deserves the chain. They could not even do that. Bahadi said Coco. Daisy said TT. And again, I don't like how Daisy was painting this picture that Bahadi was a hater. She's obviously not too much of a hater if she picked Coco. And Coco literally jumped her. Which was also a contradiction, because she's like, oh yeah, she kept saying TT was jumping people. But your first introduction to Coco was when Coco jumped you. So this is the whole, like I said, baby, I love Bahadi down, but Bahadi lost me. Okay, both Daisy and Bahadi lost me, but Bahadi really lost me because it was just like, I'm confused. So baby, like I said, Daisy starts getting, she starts getting feisty, telling Bahadi, bitch, I'm gonna pick who I'm gonna pick, and you're gonna assist me, ho. You're my assistant, ho. Bitch, y'all know Bahadi not going for that. She's not going for that. She said, I'm not your assistant. We're supposed to be coming up with a decision together. I'm not your assistant. Stop playing with me. So they go back out there, and Coco is such a bird brain ass hoe, such a bird brain bitch, that she believes Daisy. So basically they go out there, you know what I'm saying? Bahadi is telling them what it is off rip. Me and Daisy could not come to a decision. I told Daisy that I feel like Coco deserves the chain. She feels like TT deserves the chain. Daisy should have just left it at that, because that was actually the truth. That was the truth. But then Daisy gets to instigating and lying and telling Coco that Bahadi felt like she did not deserve the chain. Bahadi was being real, per usual. Every single time Bahadi gets lied on, Bahadi tells the truth. She literally said, at first I felt like you did not deserve the chain, but then I changed your mind. I listened to what you had to say, and I changed my mind. And now I feel like you deserve the chain, and she feels like TT deserves the chain. Why did Coco still get up and attack Bahadi and wanted to square up with Bahadi and whooped on Bahadi for nothing? For nothing. You are a bird brain. Like, you are slow. Like, majority of the girls are just slow. They're followers. They let the girls put batteries in their back. They're weak-minded as hell. Girl, you literally whooped her for nothing. I just know, looking back on the episode, if she watched it, I just know Coco felt so dumb. And I know she felt dumb because she went on social media and apologized to Bahadi. You're dumb. You are dumb. Girl, I mean, so towards the end, everybody was giving their introductions and they're literally haters. All of them made their introductions about Bahadi. Coco is the one that kicked it off and started like the hate train, and that's when everybody followed suit because they're all followers. We all know this. So Cupcake says like, oh, I don't feel like you deserve the chain. I felt like Coco, Hurricane M, or Titi deserved the chain. You didn't deserve the chain. Da 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 da. Mad too, baby, pumping her chest out, and then tries to get up and run up on Bahadi. I'm confused. It's just these girls are hypocrites. They're weird. They're haters. You guys are disgusting. And as I said, like, I like this show, but baby, I'm tired of this cast. I'm tired of y'all. I'm ready. I'm glad the show wrapped up. And good job, Zeus, because Zeus didn't. One thing about Zeus is I noticed, like, when a season should have been over, they still dragged the season out. 17, 18, 19, 20 episodes when, like, in reality, the show should have been over. But they did good with this show. Baby, they wrapped this show on up. Thank you. So, Coco, first of all, weren't you just venting and crying to Bahadi and Daisy? Bahadi and Daisy. Literally, you were just crying to Bahadi about how you feel so triggered while you're in the house because you're around all this fighting and you come from a upbringing and of violence. You got a background of violence, so you don't like to fight, and Bahadi was there for you, and you was crying to Bahadi. So I'm just confused how the very next episode you're trying to fight her and tell her that she does not deserve the chain. But in the same sentence, be like, yeah, you stood on business, but I feel like you still don't deserve the chain. Girl, you just said that she stood on business. She stood on business more than you, ho. She whooped you. I'm confused. Baby, dragged you all up and down that room. Baby, whooped you every single round. And what did you do? What did your punk ass do? Your punk ass still gave her the bed that she beat you up over. A bed that you was already in days prior. I'm confused. No, you don't deserve the chain. Because you were crying, wanting sympathy, no shade, not trying to be insensitive or anything, baby. And my heart goes out to anybody that came from an upbringing of violence. But you're the one who wanted to play victim conveniently after you got whooped by Janellis, and Janellis was kicking you on your and dragging you. You got dragged again. After that, when you was crying to Bahadi, telling Bahadi how you didn't want to fight, I'm confused. They literally had to peer pressure you into getting your ones with Janellis because you was popping it so much about Janellis. And whenever you confronted Janellis, baby, that energy never matched. You're not a baddie. You don't deserve a chain, baby. Don't project. She stood on business, unlike you. What did you do, baby? You sat in the background the entire time, and the only time when you spoke up is when you inserted yourself into other people's business, like you did with Erica, like you're doing now. This situation between Coco and Bahadi has nothing to do with you. I don't even understand why you're so hype and why you're trying to run up on Bahadi. You're lame. And you don't deserve a chain, and you're literally projecting, and you're a hater, and you're weird. Goodbye. You're the type of hoe that literally needs to get peer pressured into fighting and standing on business. And then you got peer pressured into standing on business, got a battery put in your back, and still got whooped by Janellis. So I don't want to hear nothing else that Coco has to say. Coco, bye. Coco, I promise you, we're probably never going to see you on TV again, ho. Never. And I promise you it's not going to be Zeus. Girl, bye. We don't want to hear that. You was just crying last episode saying how coming up with all these reasons as to why you don't want to fight. Ho, every single time you get whooped on, you got another sob story as to why you don't want to fight. Yet, you signed up for a show that is literally centered around fighting. I don't want to hear nothing else you got to say. So next. Hurricane, no. It was Rella G's. Rella G's goes next, and she's snapping on Bahadi too. Y'all are haters. You were just on the bus, licking cat, licking cooch, just all up on her, telling her that she deserves the chain and that you're proud of her. But now she's scary because and taking off her chain because she didn't want nobody to snatch her. So what? You didn't get the chain. You weren't even in the lineup, Rella G's. You weren't even lined up. You weren't even a choice. You weren't even talked about, discussed when it came to making a decision for the chain. Shut up, bum. We don't want to hear nothing you got to say. Girl, next. So Hurricane M, popping them big teeth. Y'all know how she like to chomp. Baby, she's just chomp. She's just chomping. And still running her mouth about Bahadi. Bahadi never, mind you, again, these are all girls that were just on Bahadi. Cupcake was just crying to Bahadi the other day about why she didn't want to fight, and basically telling Bahadi about all her traumas and stuff like that. Bahadi gave her a shoulder to cry on. Now she's trying to fight Bahadi. Rella G's was just licking cooch on the bus, licking cat on the bus, all up on Bahadi, saying how she was proud of her. Oh, I didn't clap for you because I felt like my girls deserved it and I wanted my girls to get a chain, but I'm still proud of you though. You deserved it though. But now you're popping it about Bahadi though. Okay. Calling Bahadi scary with a P word, but I ain't gonna say that on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You calling Bahadi scary. you calling Bahadi the big P. You're calling Bahadi the big P. But how come you ain't run your fade? I'm on everybody. How come you didn't run your fade with Daisy when Daisy was trying you at the beginning of the season? Baby steady trying you. Calling you boring, this and that. But whenever it was something about anything else, baby, you tried to fight Erica about something so stupid. You fought Bahadi and snuck her about something so dumb. But when Daisy was pulling your card in your face at the beginning of the season, you didn't want none of that. That's why I don't have respect for any of you guys. Because y'all can't be these big bad villains and these big bad wolves, but be so picky choosy. But you got the nerve to call Bahadi the big P? Okay. Hurricane M. Like I said, when Bahadi picked Hurricane M during the little soccer scene, Hurricane M was all up on her. Now you got so much to say. Oh, well, I still never went. She was like, I still just chomping, girl, with them big veneers, girl, chomping, girl. Oh, well, I still never ran my fade with you. You never ran a fade with her because you and Bahadi literally had no issue. No issue. And if you really wanted to fade that bad, which obviously you were itching for a reason to beef with Bahadi, but you never had no valid reason to, just like all your beefs in the house, pointless, you should have got on that. You had multiple opportunities to get on that. You should have never entertained no type of conversation with her. You should have never been on her team. You should have never been talking to her. Mind you, they were all just on the bus conversing with Bahadi. All of them. But now they're so mad. Oh, we never ran all once. Hurricane M, you never ran once with her because there was no issue between y'all. And, you can't even fight like that. I'm pretty sure you're the least of her worries. Child, Bahadi been getting whooped by everybody, girl. Done got her braid snatched and everything. I'm pretty sure you are the least of her worries. Nobody's scared of you, Hurricane M, girl. Just fishing for another storyline. She don't got no real beef. She don't got no real storyline. So she's trying to create one. You're delusional. Like everybody down the line is just weird. All y'all was just talking to Bahadi and being friendly with her, but now all of a sudden y'all got this big issue. Y'all are weird and followers. So next, girl. I'm just like, girl, I'm just trying to figure out where is all of the hate and animosity coming from somebody that did nothing to you. Bahadi did nothing to none of y'all. I feel like the only ones who should be beefing with Bahadi and not even Daisy, because her and Daisy made up before that, so it's like whatever. It's Titi, because Bahadi, you know what I'm saying, when Titi, even though Titi literally started it for no reason, Titi started it for sure, but towards the beginning of the season, Bahadi bit Titi. Baby, it would have been up and stuck every single day. I feel like that's the only person who should have like real issues and real, like, yeah, maybe Daisy too, but they had already made up. Rella G's and Bahadi fought over something stupid. Bahadi never did anything. Oh yeah, Cupcake too, girl. Because Bahadi definitely tried to punk Cupcake for that bad. But that's what I'm saying. Coco has so many opportunities to get her lid back on Bahadi, but was still cool with Bahadi even after Bahadi did that. But now all of a sudden you have so much mouth. But you was just crying to her though. Girl, I don't want to hear that. Chill. The girls are mad. The girls are bitter. And the girls are obsessed. TT went out on some chill shit. I wasn't mad at that. You know what I'm saying? She basically said, TT did not want the chain from Bahadi and Daisy. She didn't want the backup chain. She wanted, like, to actually be told by Natalie, you're a baddie, here's your chain. She didn't even want the chain. So she went out on some chill-ish. I was not mad at it. Coco pulls her pants down. Ew, girl. Daisy starts talking. Bahadi starts chewing her. Daisy said, anywho. Bahadi said, any food. It was funny. But that was the end of the episode. And baby, that is the season finale. And I'm ready to get into the reunion tea. Because we got a lot to get into, baby. I heard it went down.